We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us out to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính Đại Đức Tăng Thịnh, ý thứ Pháp hội cập nhật thiết chúng sanh, thịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát từ ly khổ đạc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Nan Tho Sư Chế Đô Ye Ở La Hơ Đi Sam Nhạo San Phu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tát Nát Tha Tô Ya Đà Ya La Đế Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I am able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual doctrines. Wu sheng 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 wei miao fa bai jian万劫难遭遇，我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Ching Liang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns and all good no advisors, Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、精良大师、师父上人、各位学生人、各位善知识，弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư, Thượng Tiên Hoa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện sư tất cả Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 29th of August 2025. Thank you for joining our discussion of the prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra. We're on slide 1514. Does YouTube have a comment?
네, 정현님의 질문입니다. 질문드립니다. 마스터 항상 가르침에 감사합니다. 제가 지난주 겪었던 일에 대한 질문을 드리고자 합니다. 저는 1년 6개월 동안 거의 매일 1시간 이상을 참선을 하고 있고 7개월 전부터는 거의 매일 42수완을 하루에 한 번씩 하고 있습니다. 그동안 많은 경험을 했고 수많은 효과를 느꼈습니다. 그리고 지난주 월요일에 회사에서 점심을 먹고 쉬는 시간에 졸음이 와서 의자에 기대서 잠시 잠이 들었습니다. 그러다 살짝 선잠이 들은 듯하고 몇 분 후에 갑자기 몸이 깃털처럼 가벼워짐을 느끼면서 몸과 마음이 편안해졌습니다. 저는 선잠이 든 상태에서도 놀라서 이게 몸이 가벼워져서 그런 것인지 몸이 가벼워져서 그런 것인지를 생각했고 둘 다 가벼워졌다는 생각을 했습니다. 그리고 나서 저는 저에게 이런 질문을 했습니다. 왜 내 몸과 마음이 이렇게 가벼워지지? 그리고 제가 스스로 답을 이야기해 줬습니다. 내 몸에서 무언가가 빠져나가서 그런 거잖아. 그 대답을 듣고 저는 그래서 내가 이렇게 편안해진 거였군 라는 생각과 함께 다시 잠이 들었습니다. 그리고 10여 분 후 잠을 깨고 나서 좀 전에 생긴 일에 대해 많은 생각을 했습니다. 그리고 저의 몸에 무슨 변화가 있었는지 생각해 봤지만 아까 느껴졌던 몸과 마음의 편안함은 없어졌지만 저를 괴롭혔던 욕망이 하나 없어진 걸 느꼈습니다. 제가 어찌하지 못했던 욕망이 순식간에 사라지는 이 놀라움은 며칠 동안 저를 기쁘게 하였습니다. 제가 마스터께 질문 드리고 싶은 것은 두 가지입니다. 첫 번째는 저에게서 정말로 무엇이 빠져나간 것인지 궁금하고요. 두 번째는 제가 매일 1시간에서 1시간 반 정도를 계속 참선을 하면 더디지만 계속적으로 수행의 단계가 오를 수 있는지 궁금합니다. 달리 말하면 5시간, 10시간 이상의 참선을 하지 않아도 지금처럼 매일 꾸준히 1시간 30분 정도만 참선을 해도 단계가 계속 오르는지 알고 싶습니다. 감사합니다.
This is a question from 정현. Master, I would like to ask you a question about what happened to me last week. To give you my background, I have been meditating every day 1 hour for 1 year and a half. And then for 7 months, I've been practicing 42 hands and eye every day. And I had many experiences and I had many responses. And last week, Monday, after lunch at work, I came back and then it was a break time. So I sat in my chair and I fell asleep. And I fell asleep very lightly. And then a few minutes later, I felt my body is very light like a feather. And my body and mind became very peaceful. So I thought, oh, is it because my body became lighter or my mind became lighter? And the conclusion was that it was both lighter. So I questioned myself, why is my mind and body so light? And I answered myself, it's because something went out of me. So that's why I felt very peaceful. So I thought about it after I've been waking up, and I thought, what changed in me? And then I realized that I solved one desire that was torturing me, and then that desire was gone. So I was very joyful for a few days. So I want to ask you two things. First is that is it really something really went out of me? Second is that if I meditate 1 hour to 1 hour and a half every day, I understand it will be pretty slow, but I wonder, can I progress in my cultivation level if I continue to do 1 hour and a half like daily, like nowadays? Thank you.
Okay, it's very commendable. You've been practicing consistently for quite a while now, and those are good states. However, and this applies to all of you, not just for this particular person. Is it he or she?
It's a she.
This is what happens when you practice vigorously.
Sorry, man. He.
Because what happens when you practice vigorously is that you have some of these experiences, the experiences that will make you give rise to a lot of questions, and so this is where a lot of people go off on a tangent. They go wrong because they have these responses, and they naturally will have certain interpretations. And unless you have someone that you can ask who will help you make adjustments, chances are that you will go off the wrong path. Okay? not just it happens to many Buddhist practitioners, the more vigorously you practice, the higher your chances of going in the wrong direction. For example, he's doing it at home, but if you were to go to a Chan temple, to go to a temple, do a Chan Chi, you practice even more vigorously, your chances going off in the wrong direction are even much more pronounced. So this is why you need, all of you, you're practicing on your own, whether at home or at a temple. The most important thing is for you to have someone to ask questions. Okay? Because doesn't matter how much you read, how much you know, how long you've been practicing, how hard you practice, your interpretation are usually off. And our jobs as your teachers, your trainers, is to make sure that you don't make mistakes. You practice on your own, you make mistakes. Very, very few people who can practice on their own. One of them I'm thinking of is Master YongHua. He could practice on his own, and he's okay. But most of the people, they are better off practicing under someone, like Master Yang Shan was better off practicing under Master Wei Shan. Okay? Because every day he would see his teacher, and the teacher would make adjustments. And so, anyways, in this particular man's case, his problem is this. It's a good state that he feels he have these nice experiences where he let go of some desires, and then he experiences a light, he feels lighter, both body and mind. Okay? All that is basically falls into the realms of states. States meaning that, when whether you're sleeping or you're walking or you're meditating, and you feel have these nice states, okay, like feeling good or feeling light and so forth. Those are simply states. There's no need to be attached to them. You'll be encountering a lot more of these states. We're not just talking about when you cultivate, when you meditate every day. It could happen when you're walking, when you're sitting, when you are listening to music, when you're watching TV. It could happen to any of you, any of us. We're doing something, all of a sudden we experience this nice, so-called nice state. And we feel it's cool, okay? And first of all, we want to know why. You no need to know why. It's a state, meaning it will pass, it will not last. And because if you pay attention to it and you insist on it, you keep on looking and looking for it, then you become attached to it, and that's when you get stuck. You will not make progress anymore. This is what happens to almost everyone who practices by themselves. There's no one to remind them. It's nice, but don't be attached. There's so many ways you could get sidetracked and get derailed because of these states. And what he's experiencing is just beginning states like this. There's many more, much more wonderful, much more interesting. And he's going to get derailed because of these states. And what's worse is that this man will start looking forward to these states. He says, see, I got this because I've been practicing for several months now. So it feels good, and now I will practice another several months, 3 months, and he's kind of looking forward to some kind of states again. And that's called seeking. And that's extremely dangerous. You come to my temple, and one minute you have a chance to come to the temple. When you come to the temple, you look at my face, I want you to remember. Sometimes I smile at you, sometimes I don't smile at you because I'm trying to remind you not to be attached. Who's doing it for this man? In the future, you left home people, you people who are under training, that's what you have to do. Otherwise, these people will get stuck. And worse yet, they will get derailed and then go into very bad states. And it's very hard to extricate for them to get out. And so this requires you, Sanghas, to be pure and not seeking anything from these lay people. Not their money, not their adoration, nothing at all. Because otherwise it will influence how you treat them. So going back to this man here, it's a good state. No need to understand. There are many more coming. There's no need for him to understand at all. Just a state, okay, it's fun, enjoy it. If it happens again, it happens. Does it happen again? No big deal. But that's how he should treat it. Okay? So for him to, to spend a lot of time thinking about it and trying to understand and even ask us about it, it shows an attachment here that's could be unhealthy for him. It will grow bigger and bigger. And unless you taught, unless you receive help to nip it at the butt right now, it gets harder and harder for you to cope with it. Don't think that you can get away with it. And don't blame me for not warning you already. I warned you already. But you don't listen, it's no longer my problem. Do you understand? Your job is not to make friends. Your job to make sure they don't get derailed. It's the low-level people's job to befriend them, not your job. Because you're supposed to provide guidance. What's the second question?
Oh, so I remember this man is new in JMT, and he cannot come to temple that often, but when he can, he comes. And he is like a manager in his work or CEO or something. So he tries to sit as much as he can daily, but his maximum is something like 1.5 hours a day. So this person is asking, the second question is that if he keeps sitting 1.5 hours daily, can he make progress, even though it could be slow?
Of course you can. The more you cultivate, the more blessings you have, the more chances you have to make progress. So he's doing the right thing. cultivation with us is about making progress. Don't get stuck because you're missing out on the good things in life. Your life gets better when you cultivate. It's not supposed to remain static. You're not supposed to stagnate. You can be so much better off. You can be so much happier. And that's the nature, the natural result of cultivation. Okay? So 1 minute you cultivate, and then you have more chances to make progress. To make progress means that you'll be a lot better off. Ordinary people, they're attached to their achievements. Therefore, their enjoyment of life, the quality of life, levels off. It's their fault, no one else's. And that's what is known in our circles as the obstruction of knowledge. You know it's a good thing, therefore you're going to eat that, you're going to listen to that, you're going to enjoy that, and that creates that attachment right there is what's preventing you from opening your horizons and improving your quality of life. It's our jobs to find a way to help them understand it. Most of them don't want to move on. It's okay too. Okay? But at least it's your jobs, it's our jobs to help them plant the seeds to move on eventually. Okay? Because it will catch up with them, meaning that their body will get sicker, will get older, their karmic retribution will come, and that's when they listen. That's all. We have to be patient. Okay, so yes, if he wants to improve, I commend him, I applaud him on wanting to improve. Absolutely. That's the mindset. All of you should be improving, whether you're Catholic, whether you Vietnam, whether you are Buddhist, whether you are Tibetan, you should all be improving. Why? Because you deserve it. You deserve to be happier. You deserve to be better off. Why do you settle for so little? You can have so much more. Okay, so it's a good thing that you need to practice. So he practiced an hour and a half. Okay, that's good. The more he practices, the more he has blessings to improve. Number two, many of the people who have accomplished something in their career, in their lives, okay, they're very smart, they're very selective, they're very judicious in their choices, and it makes sense. They should be, they deserve it. However, okay, just like when you drive, there are blind spots you cannot see. Okay, that's when you want, for your own safety, folks. We're talking about the blind spot when you drive your car. You know, there's a blind spot when you drive here in the U.S. on the right-hand side here. You cannot see. A blind spot right here that you need to be aware of it. Okay, nowadays we have computer systems and kind beep, 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 and the lights flashing to warn you. But the point here is that we all have blind spots and we need help. It's physical. We have limitations. Okay, we cannot see here. We cannot see behind us. So we need tools to help us. Okay, cultivation is the same thing. this is the mistake of Asians who cultivate. They're very serious, very smart, very accomplished. They can figure it out. They go through life depending on their intellect to figure out their lives, what they need to do to be successful. Okay? And that's great. It works great for them. But in cultivation, you should learn to do even better than that, much faster than that, by opening up your mind. Your success is in the past. You're looking at significant gains in the future. That's a new ball game. If you stick to what you know, that's all you have. You're on the same channel. You have more of the same. That's all you're going to get. If you want more of something bigger and better, you have to change your paradigms. And that doesn't come by yourself. Okay? Intellectually, you pick up a book. You get more information to feed your mind on how to evolve. Okay? And that's fine. But spiritually, that doesn't work. Because spiritually, it is your conscious mind that's restricting your achievements. And therefore, this is a very long way of telling you that don't be so full of yourself. Not just men here, but all of you. You think you can figure it out? Wrong. There's so many things, just so many blind spots you cannot see. When you're so full of yourself, we don't bother telling you because you don't deserve to be told. The Dharma is given to you because you're able to receive it. It's not otherwise, it's being wasted on you. And if you're given the Dharma and you toss it away, you have no more blessings to receive the next batch of Dharmas, next set of instructions. This is the equivalent of spiritual death. Because if you are no longer worthy to receive the next set of instructions, you'll be stuck. So the point being that this man here, yes, he can figure things out and he's doing on the right tracks, but one thing he could do to improve is that he needs to go see someone who is better than he is. If he does that, he can improve 10 times faster than if he were to do by himself. Case in point, during a Chanchi in our temples, for example, Chinese tradition, they sit there in the corner and they meditate for 10 weeks, for 14 weeks, 100 days. Okay? And work very hard. And they do it year after year after year, like Great Master Xu Yun. He did it for 3 decades. And eventually, when he went to a temple, that's when he became enlightened. He had the conditions become enlightened. But if he were to stay there in his hut, he would not have made it. So for 30 years, he accrued enough blessings for him to receive help when he went to the temple. To imagine, you think like the Hinayana people, that's why I call Hinayana Mahayana. They sit behind four walls and meditate day and night. Yes, they can see this, can see that, but what they see is still cannot help them resolve their obstructions. The point being that you want to go to the Great Assembly. It is so much more productive for you because you can sit there for 30 years. Okay? And like Master Xu Yun, he did the Huatou for 30 years. And he went to the temple and he got in trouble and he survived. That's when he broke through. Okay? And after that, all that time, what does he do? Close his eyes. If he were to see me, I'd say, open your eyes, you idiot. You closing your eyes is what's stopping you. So it's very important for you to have this habit of coming to the temple, okay? Coming to a place of where you can have people, you can find people who are better than you, who have gone through what you went through, so that you can learn from them, okay? After 30 years, Great Master Yun still doesn't know he's supposed to not close his eyes. And he died with his eyes closed. And to me, it's a waste. You know, I were his teacher, I slapped him in the head and said, open your eyes. You see the danger of cultivating by yourself? It worked for him. When he closed his eyes, it worked for him. But he doesn't know, he didn't know. If he were to open his eyes, he can be better. So what do you want? Stuck at where he was? You deserve better. That's my attitude. Why you shoot for so little? What he gained from closing his eyes is nothing compared to what he could get if he were to open his eyes and get in trouble. He closed his eyes, he couldn't get in trouble. Case in point, someone has to tell you, you're not special. Wake up. You're not that special. If you think you're special, wake up. You're not. That's why you are where you are, because you think you're special. And all the people around you confirm it. Oh, you're so special. You're so generous. You're so kind. You're so nice. You're so smart. Yes, DTT.
Master, I just have a minor feedback to your teaching about gentleman's first question. I remember when Master Z was here at the temple, I misbehaved a few times in front of him. One time, I exaggerated some facts in front of a newcomer during the rag show. Another time, I was discussing a temple matter with him, and then I started complaining about someone without realizing it. Both times, one time he subtly pointed out, another time he bluntly pointed out and shut me up. And like this, both time I actually, it's like a sharp mirror make me realize something I did not realize about me before, and see my habit. And while I'm very ashamed of how I behaved, I really value and trust Master Z, because I know he is not trying to be my friend. And he is not trying to build any relationship with me. He is there as a trusted advisor, will point it out when I need to know something. So just want to echo your previous teaching. Thank you.
Thank you for the feedback. I also lost a few people because of Master Z as well. They don't plan to come back to the temple. Because Master Z is too blunt. There is a middle way. That's when you have to be careful. They have to prove to you they want to be taught. Otherwise, let them be. Especially people who have some success out there already. They don't want to be told. You have to be patient. They tell you what to do. They want to be told. Look down upon you. That's normal. Okay? There's a middle way. They have to prove to you that they're worthy to be taught. They're worthy to be yelled at. If not, ignore them. It's okay. Let them be. It's just being themselves. Okay? And we're beggars. What do we care? If they look down upon us or don't treat us properly, it doesn't matter. We're beggars. We don't deserve anything. All right. Anything else? I'm not saying this is the only way that we function, okay? I'm talking about training you quicker so that you become real assets to your family, to yourselves. But eventually, we need to help more people, in a sense that they want to be themselves. They don't want to make progress. It's okay. And then for those people, we want to help them plant the seeds. That's why I'm asking you to repaint the building and do a little bit of landscaping, so forth, to include such people. That's all. Not everyone wants to cultivate. We cannot be one-dimensional. Okay, we would expand our reach with more resources that come our way. That's all. I'm very patient. 20 years and expanding gradually, bit by bit by bit by bit. That's all. Okay? But don't think that we are self-serving, we're elitist, we only serve the best of you. No, Mahayana is for everyone. I know right now where if for the average Joe, They can go to any church, they can go to any synagogue, they can go to any temple, and they'll be treated they will roll the red carpet, and they will be welcome, okay? And so we start with those special ones who don't need that, okay? But eventually, look at my teachers, their temples, and they basically now it's on the weekends, people would drive up north. They would drive 2 hours, 3 hours from the city or from San Jose to the way place there, and have lunch and attend 10 minutes of ceremony, have lunch, and drive back. And that's the majority of the attendees. And that's fine. They need to plant Mahayana blessings. Okay? All right. Going back to slide 1514, we are here discussing the Xianshou classification of Buddhist teachings. Yes, Daniel.
I'm just curious. So if someone goes to a temple, let's say your temple, just to eat and then they go back, they're still planting blessings?
I'm still planting blessings. I don't know about them. But yes. Absolutely. That's by design. I'm aware that 99% of the people do not wish to cultivate. So that's why on New Year's Day, we have lion dance, we have relics exhibit, and we have blessings and so forth. And it's the highest turnout for the entire year for us. Okay? Because that's what people want. And we are willing to do that. And yes, it's by design, they plant blessings by doing that. And if they come to the temple, and according to you, they only come in and eat, okay, and then they leave. As long as still food for them to eat, they are planting blessings, because otherwise, Xian Tung would have to throw it away. Does she? I don't think so. No, people are nodding their heads. No, I mean, she will not throw it away, and we run out of freezer space. So yes, they're planting blessings. Anyone else? Everything that happens in the temple is designed to help people plant blessings. You know, the small statue in front of the Erstol Bodhisattva, every single day, even though it's ugly, it's dirty, and very unwelcome, every day the people stopping by, they drive by, they stop the car, they walk in, bow to the statue, make the prayers, then leave. Okay? We do things like that to help give people chances to plant blessings. That's all. And that includes coming in and eat. And if we run out of food to give them, tough luck. We just don't give them any food. That's all. We share what we have. That's all. We don't worry about calculating what's in it for us and so forth. Okay. How is it helping them? when you think these people are simply coming in to take advantage of the free food, okay? Let me tell you something. If they come in with a good heart and say, I want to enjoy food and walk away, there's nothing wrong with it. They have no problems. But they come in with evil heart, okay? They're eating things from a triple jewel, and they take advantage of triple jewel, and they owe the triple jewel, and they have to come back and pay for it. Just like when you owe the bank, you have to pay the bank. Same thing. Okay? If you come in, you eat, and with good heart you cultivate, you eat, it's free. You owe absolutely nothing at all. When you come in to try to steal and to scam, it's still served to you, but then you owe the triple jewel, and you have to pay in the future. Okay? For example, how come many of you, some of you are probably like that. That's why you have no problems donating to the temple. Not funny to you, huh? Okay, never mind. It's always a mixture of people who are, yes, I want you to do a good thing, I support you. But there's always some people who say, well, these people are crazy. They are, they are naive and so forth. Okay? The principle of Buddhism is that when you give, you never lose. Never, ever. You give one, you get back a lot more than one. Okay? And not just in Buddhism, but in anything. You go to a church and give to a church, you're going to get back a lot more than what you give, for sure. Okay? And so we know that. So that's why when you come to the temple and you eat from our temples, I assure you, you owe nothing at all. Okay? What we have, we share with you, period. Except for when you try to scam the temple and try to cheat the temple and so forth. You yourself know, we don't care to know. Okay? That's when you owe. Is it clear? That's all we're not afraid. We don't worry which one is taking advantage of us. The law of cause and effect is that if you cultivate and you're trying to do good, you have plenty of blessings. Okay? And it's our job to support you, to help you, just like was done for me for so long already. So I'm simply extending the favors that was done to me for so many lifetimes already. That's how I got here today. So we're doing the same thing now, in my turn, okay? To give. But it's nothing wrong with taking, if that's all you can do. You're hungry, you need to eat. Yes, DTT.
마스터께서 앞선 법문에서 선을 수행하려면 조사를 찾으라고 하셨어요. 제 질문은 조사와 선지식의 차이가 있는지, 만약에 그 사람이, 그러니까 선지식이라면 반드시 조사할 필요는 없지만 조사가 반드시 선지식인가가 제 질문의 포인트입니다.
Master, in a prior Dharma talk, you said in order to practice Chan, find a patriarch. So my question is, I want to know the difference between patriarch and the good knowing advisor. Let's say if you were a good knowing advisor, you must be or could be a patriarch, but isn't it not always the patriarch is a good knowing advisor?
Yeah, it's not always the case. Okay, what's most important for all of you is bring forth a desire to cultivate under a good knowing advisor, whether it's a patriarch or not. If you are sincere enough, you have plenty of help. We have the whole network of people who are guiding and helping us. It's not just monks, but also lay people and also all sorts of peoples. Okay? All right, so the Xianshou school is divides the Buddhist teaching into 5. Just to remind you, first part of the teaching is Hinayana. Basically, you're limited, and therefore Buddha can only teach you so much, and that's all you can handle. And those of you who are better, who can handle more, then he teaches more. He says, now you should be going to the initial teaching, initial Mahayana. Okay, and this is a section here. Section here is about the fact that after you got a lot from the Hinayana teaching, and you have tremendous amount of Hinayana teaching, benefits are incredible. You're talking about being emperor, being tycoons, famous artists and so forth. Okay, and that's still nothing compared to the Hinayana attainments. Okay, and if some of you who have so many blessings would naturally ask for more, and that's when you want to go into the next phase, which is initial teaching, where the Buddha says, I'm going to try to open your mind a lot more. So I begin to open your mind. Okay, so here, let's look at the text here. The doctrines of emptiness in the sutra spoken are only in terms of what is attached to.
说经空义，但约所执。
Okay. In this context here, we've been talking about 3 natures. One nature is everywhere calculating and attached to. Second nature is nature depending on something else. And third nature is perfectly accomplished natures. So Buddha explains that this is the severity of our attachments. First of all, for most ordinary people, they are always calculating attached to everything. That's ordinary people, period. Okay, and that's a nature everywhere attached to it and always calculating. And second nature is nature arising depending on something else. This is when you can use the intellect and make deductions. Okay, some of what your prior knowledge, now you form judgment, you form deductions, and that's a nature arises depending on something else, depending on prior knowledge, prior experience, if you will. Okay, and so when you learn Buddhism, you learn the spiritual path. The spiritual path is about you learn about emptiness. Emptiness is the nature of all things, the true nature of all things. Okay, depending on your level of wisdom, you'll be able to understand emptiness at increasingly higher levels of emptiness. Okay, And even in Mahayana, when you learn about emptiness, you practice chant, for example, you meditate, and you enter samadhi, and your mind blanks out. And that's a state of emptiness. Okay? Your mind is free of thoughts because it's empty of the normal thoughts that you are attached to. For example, you are into food, okay? And then you constantly are planning to eat this and eat that. But when you meditate, okay, instead of following those thoughts in normal circumstances, in meditation you learn that, I'm meditating, I'm not supposed to think. So when the thoughts of food arises, you said, okay, let's not worry about it for now. You drop it because I'm meditating right now. By doing that, you emptying your mind of thoughts about food. That's how you enter the state of emptiness. Your mind is empty of thoughts of food. Is that clear? So that's what the spiritual path is about. It helps you, okay, enter increasingly higher levels of emptiness, meaning of freedom. When you meditate, this is when you free your mind from more and more and more and more. This is contrary to worldly dharmas when they insist that you attach to more. I want more of this, I want more of that. That's worldly. In Mahayana, in Buddhism, the more you learn the more you're supposed to drop when you meditate. Does it help? That's what is called emptiness. Emptiness here refers to your mind being empty of certain types of thoughts. Because when your mind cannot be empty of those thoughts, you're stuck right there. So Buddhism is a training that helps you free yourself. And that's how you improve the quality of life. You have to earn it. No one can do it for you. We can, but we're not willing to. Why should we? Tell me, what are you to me? You're not even my mother. Just kidding. Yes, DTT.
Master, when I'm sleepy, I think less. Is that easier for me to get to emptiness when I'm sleepy?
No.
Or it's, the reason I'm asking this is that a lot of our program, like at some point we are exhausted. I just wonder. Sometimes I feel like, I can't even pay attention to the lecture. I should recharge myself to come so I can pay attention to the lecture. But also I sometimes feel like maybe I'm thinking too much, and when I'm sleepy, I can think less. So it will be easier for me to actually get into the state. Actually, Master, my question probably is like, should I try to think and pay attention during your lecture, or should I try to empty myself and stop thinking during your lecture?
And what do you expect me to tell you?
I don't know.
You should pay attention to my lecture. I hate to tell you, I hate to say this, but you should pay attention.
And when I pay attention, does that mean I think? Or pay attention can be no thinking at the same time?
Just pay attention. When you listen to music, you like music? Chinese music, I imagine. When you listen to music, what do?
I enjoy.
No! Wrong answer. You should be ashamed of yourself. You listen to music because it makes you scattered. You Chinese, that's a Chinese teaching. Master Hsuan said, don't listen to music. Bodhisattva precept, don't listen to music. That's why I don't transmit Bodhisattva precepts, by the way. What kind of cultivation is this? No, you can't listen to music. Seriously? That's our culture is Chinese music, Vietnam music, German music, amigo music. Yes, sir.
I'm just very curious. Can Buddhists listen to Christian music?
No, not as often as we should, according to you. Oh. Okay, the reason I ask about music is that I'm going to ask the next question. Okay, zoom in on the woman, look at her face. Yeah. Let's say you're reciting the Great Compassion Mantra. Have you memorized it? You don't deserve to ask questions. Suppose you have memorized the Great Compassion Mantra. Which mantra have you memorized? It's going to take a while here.
95% of Great Compassion Mantra. 95% of Great Compassion Mantra. I'm not sure I'm 100% accurate all the time.
Okay, hands and eyes. Which one have you memorized? Who has been helping you? Is it Master Z? Is that the guy that you gave a hard time to? Okay, never mind. Okay, let's say you are writing an advertising copy. You're writing an article to be published for your business, like you used to in the past. Okay? You're writing a paper, an article. Okay? You concentrate in writing. Yes? And all of a sudden, there's some great Chinese music that is now you can hear. So far, so good? What do? You concentrate on writing or you listen to the music? Favorite song, Chinese song?
I can do both at the same time.
Seriously?
Yes, sometimes I feel some music can get me even more in the zone of the writing, can inspire me.
And you like music?
I do.
This woman here is not normal. My point here is that you're working, and I don't know what is your favorite music. For me, it's James Bond. Okay, I'm meditating. Okay, and Adele music. What is that? Skyfall, whatever. Skyfall. Thank you very much. You too? Okay. I'm meditating. And then all of a sudden someone turn on Skyfall, Adele song there. Okay. And I like that song. Okay. What do? I would have a hard time reciting or meditating. I would immediately tune into that. Now go back and forth. There's no more single-mindedness that's required in the work or in the meditation process. Your mind is split up now into two: music and work, music and work, music and work. Which one do you choose? Maybe there is a portion where you really like. Okay? That's when you focus on that and you ignore this work here. It doesn't happen to you, right? So what is concentration? Concentration is the music cannot distract you. Or you concentrate on music and forget about the work. That's also concentration. You choose to become single-minded. One thing in your mind only. And that's meditation. So let me ask you, I ask all of you Chan people, you Chinese Chan people, why can't I listen to music? It would help me concentrate. To me, if you turn on that music, it helps my concentration. Why not? It's bad if it makes me scattered. On the other hand, if it helps me concentrate, it's good. So I have no problem listening to music because it helps me concentrate. At least I convince myself that it helps me concentrate. Okay? So Chan is about choosing. Where do I concentrate? Which one do I choose? And you become single-minded. That's all. It's a personal choice. If you have to work, you're on a deadline, you've been procrastinating all this time, now you have no choice. That's when you can easily concentrate on the work because you have to finish it. But when there's no deadline, now you have a choice. Can I work or can I concentrate on enjoying myself? Yes, Daniel, you have a lot of questions tonight.
So to understand, so I could understand a little better. So for example, doing some work. Today I was doing a lot of work on some paperwork at my work. So I was trying to concentrate on the work to finish as quickly as we can. So that would be single-minded and that would be Chan?
Yes. So Chan is the skill that we help you develop so that you can concentrate better and better and better.
So Chan is not sitting half lotus or full lotus or anything like that?
That's only part of the training. Chan, you don't need to cross your legs, but crossing your legs is the training and helps you concentrate faster and better. Once you have the skills, you don't need to cross your legs. Crossing your legs takes too long. Anyone else? But the people who don't know, they said, if eventually I don't need to cross my legs, then why do I need to cross my legs now? It's losers speaking, because part of the training is we do things that help develop that ability to concentrate so quickly, so fast, so powerful. It's a skill you have to develop. You don't just say, eventually you don't need to cross your legs and let me not do it. You don't do it, then you never develop the skills. You have to work for it. Okay, going back to slide 1515. May I? Okay, so here in the initial teaching, they teach about emptiness only in the terms of what is attached to. Okay, it may not make sense to you, but for me, it tells me the limitations, and this is fine. This is a natural part of the training. It's like we know we want to teach you algebra, but we first need to teach you arithmetic, okay? And we bring you eventually to algebra. Same concept, okay? And so when they teach initial teaching of Mahayana, they talk about emptiness, it's only in terms of what is attached to. And that's extremely useful to you, okay? And Master Hsuan goes into not knowing, no attaining, and all those things. That's fine. But I bet most of you don't care what this is about. Okay, so yes, go first.
Hello, Master. I just have a question for that sentence you just read. The doctrines of emptiness in the sutra spoken are only in terms of what is attached to. It sounds to me like incorrect English. I'm not too good with grammar, but wouldn't it be better if it says are only in terms of what it's attached to? Or something along those lines where it's not, just doesn't sound like correct English.
No, that's correct English. I criticize the English, but in here, it's very correct. Okay.
Can you explain it? Because it just doesn't. What is attached to? Like, what does that mean?
Well, that Master Hsuan chose to explain it in terms of nature everywhere calculated and attached to, that's correct. And also nature arises dependent on something else, that's correct. And the perfectly accomplished real nature, that's correct too. They all have attached to. Okay? So it's correct. The point here is that you don't understand, like many of you don't understand what he's talking about. That's why I don't care to go into it. Okay? My interest is not for you to say, now I understand. It's really in terms of what is attached to. This actually is referring to, for me personally, is referring to, I looked at other people, other teachers, students and teachers, other monks, other Dharma masters, okay? It tells me the extent of their knowledge. Okay, very much like, if you forgive my analogy, is that I can only teach you arithmetic right now. There's no point me going into algebra yet. Okay, in a sense of emptiness here, it actually refers to the fact that when you teach Hinayana people about emptiness, okay, this is how they get to their open their wisdom, okay? That right there is actually a very, very limited sort of emptiness. So limited, so tiny, okay? But it has wonderful consequences. So when you go from the Hinayana thing to initial teaching, okay, now they're expanding this emptiness that the Buddha used to teach Hinayana people. Now they have to expand it in a bigger scale. But still, when you want to teach, when you graduate, when you help the Hinayana people graduate from the Hinayana emptiness to the initial teaching emptiness, it's only in terms of what is attached to. That's what I say, that's why I can take you only so far. Okay? And because Buddha had to do that. Okay? Buddha is the one who has all the wisdom. He knows how to teach people and what to teach living beings. So Master Shincho is so clever. He says, Hinayana, they talk about emptiness. That's very, very good. Okay? That's wisdom right there. But to go to Mahayana wisdom, you also need to have this initial stage where you have restricted in terms of what's attached to only. That's from my perspective. Okay? As a teacher, you only can go so far. If I push more, you get indigestion, and you lose your patience. Okay, so that's why I didn't want to go into this. Master Hsien went into he explained everywhere has nature is all and so forth. All this is correct, but it's really, to me, it's not really the reason why the Buddha is doing this. The Buddha is doing this is because when we teach you emptiness, when they say teach you emptiness, it also has as a jargon that means something from a teacher perspective, not from you. That's why I don't explain that to you either. Okay? So I enjoy it. I mean, I share with you my joy because I said, wow, this is so wise of the Buddha to do this. It's so effective. That's why it saves me time. When I look at you, I say, oh, you are Hinayana, Mahayana, which is basically it right here. Okay? That's when I say, this is only so much you can digest. Okay? That's all. That's all it means. But to go into nature, attached-free nature, to me, it's not necessary. Okay? It's something you can go on your own. You don't need me. Okay? All my job, what I'm supposed to do is that even if you go on your own, you should know that it's not the complete picture yet. What you're learning, what you're reading is basically still not Mahayana yet. Okay? Yeah, that's all. Questions and comments? And that's the advantage we have over Master Hsien. Master Hsien needs to give you the scholarly aspects of the teaching. Okay? Yeah. We don't have that constraint. Yeah. I'm only interested in in how far I can get away with and not waste your time. Okay, any questions? It's fascinating, let me tell you. When one day when you become a teacher, I hope you come back to this because it's very, very good. When I first read it, I told you multiple times, I couldn't understand anything. But now I enjoy it because I see it's so efficient. The Buddha is so wise. And it makes you should be humble. There's so much more you don't get that we cannot teach you yet. Okay? The learning is fascinating, let me tell you. Okay? It's fun. Anyone else? Okay. So and also one final tip for you, because I really don't have time to go into the next section. I only have a few minutes left. It says here, the doctrines of emptiness in his sutra spoken are only in terms of what is attached to, that Daniel Rivas have a problem with, and it's not surprising because most of you don't understand what this is about. Actually, what it's talking about is that is the accuracy of the cure. The Buddha, in Buddha speaking Dharma in the initial teaching, it is so effective. That's why the Buddha is able to prescribe the proper medicine, okay, for these people. That's why if you're not there, you don't belong in this group, you don't understand what it's talking about. Okay? When you're a teacher, you're high in this level of this, then you begin to pay attention because you can only help them overcome certain problems only. Okay? And that's it. That's what, in terms of what is attached to. It's not about the whole bowl of wax because they can't digest. It's only about in terms of what is attached to. And it is so clever to me. It's so accurate. Okay? Yeah. Questions? Go ahead, go first.
Master, I wasn't even thinking about the concepts or understanding it. I was just talking about grammatically. The English, what is attached to, it's just improper English.
No, it's not.
Is that what you're, it's not?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay.
It's a good translation. Okay, yes, sir. 6.
Oh, Emitofuo, Master. I had a question about, I was just thinking about how most people that I respect in life, it's because of how much they have or how much they've accomplished. And in this section, it says that don't be attached to perfect accomplishment. And so, and I was thinking that people who are holy or monks or nuns or bodhisattvas, it's how, I guess what I'm respecting is how little they respect. Is that on the right path? Or how little they have, how much of a beggar they are?
I don't get it. What's your point?
I guess in this, it says that the point is to not be attached, have less and less and less. And so when I look to somebody who's greater than me, am I looking to like how little they have?
What makes you think they have little?
Well, they're not attached to anything.
Does it mean they have little?
That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, have you heard of hidden assets? If you do this and you become poorer and more needy, then what's the point? You're doing this because you're making such big gains. It's so big that you need to hide it. Otherwise, people will come and steal from you. Does it make sense? You've never been rich. If you've been rich, the first thing you want to do is lie low, because people will come and steal from you. You're so rich, you're so big that you're no longer attached to anything. Not a $500 million yacht. That's nothing. Because it's in our sutras. When Infinite Intention Bodhisattva wanted to make an offering to Wanyin Bodhisattva, what does he do? He takes his necklace and breaks it in half. And this necklace, the sutra says, is of infinite value. He wears this infinite value necklace around his neck, and no one even noticed. Until the Buddha says, he just took off his necklace, and you know how much his necklace is worth? Because the rest of you are talking about the biggest yacht right now is owned by some Arab sheikh in the Middle East, worth $600 million, biggest one, 250 feet, something like that. Why do I know that? Well, look it up. Okay? That's nothing compared to the necklace he's wearing it and no one even sees. And no one realizes how invaluable it is. And he gives it away. You think he has one necklace like this only? He probably has a lot more in his safety deposit box. Okay? You're so poor, that's why you don't understand how rich people can be. You cannot see their wealth. And that's the point. You're so wealthy that you need to hide it. And that's why bodhisattvas hide the big and reveal the small. It's for safety reasons. Otherwise, you get robbed blind. They want to be left alone. They don't need parapati hanging in front of the house. You're wrong. Only poor people want to be noticed. The real rich people, you have no clues how rich they are. Okay, yes, 5.
Hello? Yeah. So this part, I think it's saying that if there's no Dharma, there's no, if there's no attachment, there's no need to have those Dharmas spoken. Therefore, there's like that words, no knowing and not attending, 无智亦无得. So I always have been wondering about this when we recite the Heart Sutra. When it says 无智亦无得, then there's a few lines down. It says the 三世诸佛依般若波罗蜜多故得耨多罗三藐三菩提. So the Buddhas of the three lifetimes attend the 三藐三菩提. So it basically says the Buddhas attend something. So, Master, could you explain the no attending and also attending?
There's nothing to attain. There's nothing to know. There's nothing to attain.
Then why the sutra says the Buddha attend something?
Attain something as no attaining. You still see something being attained. You're still seeking. Buddha says, yeah, is Buddha fruit there? Yes, I want to go there. But in order for me to get there, I need to drop. It's the same thing. When you begin to cultivate, okay, you will accrue a lot of blessings. The kind of blessings that will manifest some lifetimes in the future for you, where you be an emperor and you are entitled to cryptocurrencies, to money, to properties and so forth, to wives and girlfriends and so forth. That's natural, that's part of your blessings. Okay? And when that happens, the rest of the world can scream all they want. It's your blessings. It's nothing they can do. Okay? Putin is at least a trillionaire because he probably cultivated in the past. He's so wealthy. And whatever he does, it's his blessings that come true. If you didn't have blessings, you wouldn't be able to get it, period. You may not like it, you may disagree, but the fact is that if you have it, it's because it's from your blessings. So it's natural for you, when you cultivate, eventually you say, I want to be an emperor, I want to be a tycoon, I want to be okay? Because you never had it before, that's why you're curious about what it's like to have so much money to be an emperor, like Trump, like Putin, and all those people. Okay? It's because you've never been an emperor. That's why you're curious. But once you've been an emperor for 20 lifetimes, 2,000 lifetimes, the same thing again? Then you begin, it's got to be something better than this. Okay? And that's when you look at all these things as all the knowledge, all this wealth, all these possessions are nothing. This is when you have a chance to open your wisdom. I'm trying to tell you that it's a natural evolution for all of us. When we're poor, we want food in our stomach. We want warm clothes. That's natural for all of us. It's being human. Okay? There's nothing wrong with it. But as you cultivate, you accrue these blessings, you have the fine food, you have the money, the yacht, the helicopters, and the private jets, the Lear jets, and so forth. Eventually, you have one day, one lifetime, you wake up and say, this is boring, the same thing as before. You know, three-star Michelin, every single meal. What's a big deal anymore? I try Italian, I try Vietnam, I try French, I try Chinese, I try, what else can I try? And then eventually one day he said, gotta be something better than this. And that's when you become a monk. Get it? Huh? That's why he said, wealth is boring. I'd rather be poor. Why? Not because I don't have blessings, because my blessings are not for myself. My blessing is for you. This is for you. The Tesla and Go Force is for you. I think. You believe? I've been criticizing Teslas and finally bought a used Tesla. Okay? I criticize, but I use. You got that? It's natural. It's part of your natural evolution. There's nothing wrong with it. It's okay to be greedy for money, be greedy for all those things. But let me tell you, you on the path to be one day be so bored and say, God, I have so much money I don't know what to do with. That's when you start giving it away and become a monk. I'm telling you, I'm warning you. Okay? Mark my words, one day it happened to all of you as well. Because when you have all this money, all these assets, and you enjoy it yourselves, it's fun for a while, and then pretty soon it becomes boring. All right? But if you use all the blessing you have instead of enjoying yourself, indulging in yourself, okay? You give it to others. You know what happens? When you give it to her, she really likes it. And that joy there, you experience yourself. Do you know that? Every single person you help, they enjoy it because they're poor. Okay? That joy is yours. That joy is so vast. So don't think that you're losing by giving it away. You're giving it away, your blessings are multiplied many more times than before. And number two, the joy that comes to you is immediate. You know that? That's a big picture, folks. If you do this and we keep on losing, what's the point? Are you stupid or something? You serious? You think we're doing this because we keep on losing and look at Master YongHua, that he's short. He could have been taller. I would have. If I had this kind of blessing, I'd be a tall and Apollo looking, No, he chose to be short. And kind of not good looking either. You ask me. Okay? And guess what? And then he takes on all your diseases. He says, you have cancer, right? Okay, you heal. Come to my body. You have a problem? Here, I take it for you. What is your problem? Oh, no, don't tell me, I got it. Oh, don't worry about this one. You see, he takes all these illnesses. Why is he doing it? I have no idea. But I'm willing to bet with you that it's to his advantage. Trust me, if you have wisdom, you did all those things because you end up losing, it results in a big losses for you, there's no wisdom in it. Agree? You just can't see the big gains he's getting. On the surface, it doesn't make sense. You know? But that's what the proof in that you lack wisdom. You don't get it yet. We're not talking about, $500 million yacht here. It's actually cost more than $650 million or something, the biggest yacht. Okay? From that ruler in the Middle East. You don't know who it is? Oh, yeah. Anyway, that's nothing. You are so impressed with such small things. You spend your entire life chasing after these things. At best, you become a trillionaire, and then what? You have so many enemies. So many people who are so envious and jealous of you. And if you're a man, so many women coming after your money. And so many children waiting for you to die. The sooner the better. I know it's depressing. What's the solution? You heard it before. Become a monk. Cultivate is the way to go, folks. Whether you meditate for an hour, you bow for an hour starting tomorrow, okay, you are creating so many blessings for yourself. Don't pass it up. Daniel, believe, come up and bow. That one bow right there, one day you become God yourself. One bow, that's all it takes. You do 2 bows, you become a God faster. It's all blessings. It's no magic. You have to work for it. Don't settle for so little. Okay? Okay, stop here tonight. Thank you, everyone. So next time we go to the next section, okay? This one, 1523.